Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Cassandra and today's practice will be a Yin Yoga class focusing on neck, upper back, and shoulder tension relief. Please make sure you have two blocks handy and we'll start in a cross-legged, comfortable seating position, connecting with the breath by inhaling and exhaling out through the nose, relaxing both shoulders down and away from the ears, and just taking a moment to get centered here and tune into your body, noticing where you're holding tension. When you're ready, start to drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. You might feel a little bit of a stretch through the left side of your neck here. If you'd like to intensify this stretch, you can reach your left fingertips down onto the mat and crawl them over towards the left. See if you can keep your chin up high here. And if you'd like to intensify the stretch even more, you can use your right palm to lightly press down over the top of your head. If this is too much, just come back to the other variation. You want to move very slowly and be very careful as the neck can be very sensitive. Let's take another 5 deep belly breaths right here in this pose. And for these last few moments, let's start to tuck the chin in towards the chest. So this should send the stretch more towards the back of your neck and starting to go down towards the shoulder blades. Take 3 more deep breaths, breathing into the sensation. And let's release the side, gently lifting the head back to center. And when you're ready, we'll go and explore the second side. So this time you'll be dropping your left ear towards your left shoulder. Move slowly and carefully here. Don't go into the final variation of the pose just yet. Take the time to explore them. Breathe into the right side of your neck. And if it feels appropriate for your body today, you can reach your right fingertips down onto the mat, crawling them over towards the right to get a little bit deeper. And your last option here is to also use your left palm to lightly press down on the top of your head. We're not applying too much pressure here. Make sure you're still sitting up nice and tall. And let's take 5 breaths in this pose. Let's start to tuck the chin in towards the chest, once again sending the stretch more towards the back of the neck and down towards the shoulder blades. Let's release the pose, bringing head back to center. Coming into a tabletop pose onto hands and knees. We'll be setting up for puppy pose, so please make sure your hips stay directly over top of your knees, and then you can start to walk your palms forward as you drop your chest and your forehead either directly down onto the mat, or if you can't quite make it, you can always place a block directly underneath your forehead. Make sure you're not causing your lower back to sway here, so you will need to keep your abdominals slightly engaged so that the lower back stays nice and long. We're trying to get this stretch to come in throughout the shoulder girdle and between the shoulder blades. So start to melt your heart down towards the mat, taking deep breaths and really feeling the ribs spread from side to side and front to back. And although your palms are forward, you don't want to have your shoulders hiked up all the way towards your ears. So see if you can roll your shoulders down and away from your ears so that your neck has plenty of space. And we'll take 5 to 10 deep breaths in this pose, softening through the upper back, while staying strong through the belly. Take your time as you start to come out of the pose, coming back onto hands and knees, and we'll come into a seated pose. Crossing your right thigh over your left, stacking your right knee directly over top of your left. So getting a little bit deeper into the hips here, right arm rises up overhead, bend at the right elbow, and maybe just use your left palm to press that elbow back. If you'd like to intensify this stretch, you can reach around with your left fingertips and clasp your hands behind your back. Make sure you're not leaning your head forward here. You want to stay sitting up nice and tall. Stay sitting down on both sits bones, and no matter which variation you're choosing, you want to keep pressing that right elbow back to get deep into the triceps. Wherever you feel the sensation the most, that's where you want to send your breath. Two more deep breaths. Let's release the arms. Keep your legs exactly as they are. We're just going to come into an eagle variation with the upper body. So you'll be crossing your right arm underneath your left, hooking the wrists as well as the forearms. And then from here you want to lift your elbows up, roll your shoulders down and away from your ears, and either stay sitting up tall or move into a forward fold, so your elbows will go in front of your knees. If the floor is a little bit too far away for you, you don't need to go all the way down. You can always lower onto your thighs, onto a block, or stay sitting up high. We're trying to stretch throughout the upper back, in between the shoulder blades, and a little bit throughout the biceps as well with this stretch here. Take 5 more deep breaths right here in this pose. Engage the belly as you lift all the way back up. Release the arms, bring your palms in behind you, uncross your legs, and we're just going to do a couple windshield wiper motions with the knees just to reset the lower back. So just alternate between dropping your knees over to one side and then over to the next. And when you're ready, we'll go and do the same thing on the other side. So this time you're stacking your left knee directly over top of your right. And on an inhale, left arm reaches up towards the sky, bending at the left elbow. Use your right palm to lightly press it back. Start with this variation first. If you'd like to go deeper, you can reach your right fingertips down and clasp your fingers behind your back. Remember that we're trying to sit up nice and tall here and really feel a broadening through the upper body. You might be feeling a fairly intense sensation through both hips due to the cross of the legs. If that's the case, see if you can use your breath to help alleviate some of that tension. Really sending your breath all the way down into your lower body, allowing those muscles to relax just a little bit more. Let's come into the eagle arms variation. So releasing your palms, this time left arm will go underneath your right, binding once or twice. Either choose to stay sitting up tall here or come ahead forward into your fold. Elbows can rest on your knees, on a block, or go all the way down onto the ground. Wherever you are, make sure you're in a stance that allows you to relax your head and relax your neck. Make sure you're always reminding your shoulders to roll down and away from your ears. We're here for about 5 more breaths. Gently start to lift yourself out of the pose, bringing your palms back down onto the mat, uncrossing your legs, and once again doing that windshield wiper motion, dropping the knees on one side and onto the next. From here, we'll be coming back onto our hands and knees, doing another puppy pose with a different variation this time. Please grab your blocks, place them along the shorter edge of your mat on their lowest level, and start to lower your elbows down onto the blocks, keeping your hips directly over top of your knees, pressing your palms together and sending your palms behind your neck so that your fingertips are pointing towards your tailbone. You'll know right away if this stretch is too intense for you. If that's the case, move the blocks out of the way, place your elbows directly down onto the mat, and do the same pose, bringing your palms together and sending them towards the back of your neck. Going up on the blocks will just make the stretch a little bit more intense through the triceps. Again, remember that we're keeping the belly slightly firm here so that the lower back stays nice and long. Come back to your breath and start melting your heart down towards the mat. Your forehead may or may not be touching the ground. Remember that this is your practice and you get to decide when you come in and out of a pose. Remember to listen to your body and do what feels best for you. Let's release palms back down onto the mat. Gently lift yourself back up and start to move the blocks out of the way, making your way all the way down onto your belly. We'll come to give a little bit more attention to the front body. Set up for Sphinx pose, bringing your forearms down onto the mat about shoulder width distance apart, and you get to decide how deep you go into this back bend. So if you're feeling any tension in your lower back, all you need to do is walk your palms forward so there's less of an angle here. And instead of focusing about how high up you can get, just think of lengthening your spine and really pulling your heart forward, relaxing your shoulders down and away from your ears, lightly hugging your shoulder blades behind your back. Tailbone is lengthening towards your heels, pelvis is grounded down onto the mat. And just enjoy this gentle pose for a few more breaths, taking deep breaths into the front of the body directly into the heart. And know that you can adjust this pose at any time, either by walking your elbows in or sliding them forward to reduce the intensity. Two more breaths. And slowly start to soften down. Press your way back up onto hands and knees, and we'll be coming into a low lunge pose. So stepping your right foot in between your palms to the top of the mat, pad your left knee maybe by doubling up your mat before setting it down. Come on up when you have your balance here, and we'll be reaching our left arm across our body, using your right palm to draw that arm in closer towards the chest. So you should be feeling a pretty good stretch through your left shoulder. Make sure that left shoulder is pressing down towards the ground, and start by slowly allowing your hips to sink down. So we're engaging the hip flexors, psoas, glutes just a little bit in this stretch as well. You want to avoid a sway back here as well, so keep curling your tailbone under, staying long through the lower back, with integrity through the pelvis. Bring your palms back onto your knee. We'll go ahead and switch sides. So this time you'll be stepping your left foot forward to the top of the mat, patting your right knee. And come on up when you're ready. This time your right arm will reach across your body, using your left palm to draw it in. Remember to roll that right shoulder down. Abdominals stay engaged here. And see if you can focus your breath through the back body here, in between the shoulder blades, along the spine, up the neck. Let's release palms back down onto the mat. Come through to your tabletop pose. Unwind your mat if you had that variation, and we'll be setting up for thread the needle. So swing your left arm through so that you can comfortably rest your left shoulder and left ear either down onto the mat, or if the floor is a little bit too far away, you can always rest your head down onto a block. Right palm can stay down onto the mat, firmly pressing into the ground, or you can rest your right palm onto your lower back. So there's a little bit of a twisting action here as you press your belly button towards your spine and roll your right shoulder down and away from your ear. Try to hold as little weight and tension as you can in your neck. Deep belly breaths as you settle into this pose. If your palm was behind your back, please bring it back down onto the mat. Take your time as you come back up through to your tabletop position, and we'll prepare for the second side. But before, let's take a few rounds of cat and cow. So as you exhale, round your spine, curl tailbone under, and on the inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, curl tailbone up. Squeeze your shoulder blades behind your back. One more round. Exhale, round your spine, chin to chest. Elbows stay straight. On the inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze slightly. And let's come back to neutral, swinging your right arm down, lowering right shoulder and right ear either onto the mat or onto a block. Choose if you'd prefer to keep your left palm down onto the mat, or if you'd like to intensify the sensation, you can rest your left palm onto your lower back. And really work at rolling that left shoulder down and away from your ear. Your hips are staying high up over your knees here, pressing belly button to spine. Although we've done this on the first side already, this side might feel like a brand new experience, and that's okay. Try not to focus too much on the differences on one side and the other, and instead see if you can simply enjoy the experience without trying to obtain a goal or reach a certain pose. Whatever shape your body is in right now is the perfect shape for it at the moment. Stay committed to the present moment, stay within your body, and keep breathing really deeply. Start to bring your left palm back down onto the mat. Move slowly as you come back up onto all fours. And you'll want to grab your props. We will be using both blocks to come into supported fish pose. One block will go behind your upper back, directly in between your shoulder blades on the lowest or mid-level. And the second block will go directly underneath your head, also on the lowest or mid-level. Ease yourself down onto the blocks. There should be no tension in your lower back here. If you feel any pinching, either put the block on the lowest level or slide the block further up towards your head. The block might be too low. You can choose to keep your legs straight here, but if you'd like a little bit of a hip opener at the same time, you can come into a butterfly shape with the legs by bringing the soles of the feet to touch and allowing the knees to fall open. Arms can go wherever is more comfortable to you. A really nice variation can be to reach both arms up overhead, but if that's too intense into the armpits and shoulder girdle, just keep your arms alongside your body. And we are here for 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes, so you have the time to play around with this pose and experiment to find what works best for you. When you do find a variation that works for your body, see if you can stay still and just keep on breathing deeply, feeling a nice expansion through the front body. allowing your ribs to spread from side to side, getting really long through the spine, and relaxing down onto your blocks, letting your hips be heavy, and just letting the knees slowly soften down towards the earth, enjoying every moment. Take 10 more slow, deep belly breaths right here in this pose. Let's come out of the pose by first bringing your knees back towards each other, maybe tucking your chin in towards your chest so you can remove the first block, propping yourself up onto your forearms to remove the other block out of the way, before lying all the way down onto your backs, and we'll be setting up for a spinal twist. So bending at the right knee, you'll be bringing your right knee over towards the left, maybe using your left palm to lightly press down over your right thigh. Reach your right arm out so you can really press your right shoulder blade down into the mat. Because this is a twist, you'll want to keep hugging your belly button in towards your spine so that your lower abdominals are hugging in and both collarbones keep facing up towards the ceiling, getting a little bit deeper into the twist. Notice if your breath becomes a little short or shallow when you start to twist. We want to avoid that from happening, so if you find that that's the case, it probably just means that you've twisted a little bit too far and need to back out of the pose. Always remember that your breath is your guide that will tell you whether or not you can go deeper or need to pull out of a certain pose. And let's stay here for about another 10 or so very deep belly breaths. Let's release and come back to center before setting up for the second side. So this time you'll be bending at the left knee and bringing it over towards the right side of your body, maybe using your right palm to lightly press it down. Extend your left arm down onto the ground, really anchoring your left shoulder blade down into the earth. Keep your chest facing up towards the sky. Maybe allow the eyes to close as you bring the focus inward. Tune back into your breath and stay here for about another minute. Release this twist and come into Shavasana, our final resting pose, finding a comfortable position for your body to rest in. Maybe extending both legs and both arms out, palms facing up towards the sky. Come back to whatever breath is natural to you, and just enjoy these few moments of complete stillness and total silence. Thank you so much for doing this class with me today. I really do hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave a comment. It really does mean so much to me. Thank you so much. Namaste.